This is episode number 18 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We are so glad that you could join us here in 2019.
2019.
What's up?
Man, it feels good to be in 2019. I was done with 2018, man.
I was just getting going.
Oh, dude, I don't know. 2018 was rough for me.
2018 was rough?
Well, just the last half of it.
It was gimpy.
Yeah, it was gimpy. It was tough, man. I'm done with that mess.
Well, we are glad to be back with our Homeowners Show family. We're glad that you guys could stick with us and do a new year. We got some cool things planned for this year. And we just got done rolling out our live show footage. Man, that was a fun show.
It was fun.
We got to sing Happy Birthday to the Thistle.
Yeah.
We sounded pretty good.
I mean, I thought so.
Yeah.
Threw a little harmony in there.
Yeah. We didn't get any record deal from it, but
probably not.
A little notoriety. That's all right.
Yeah. It was good.
Man, I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about what's going on with the show. I feel like we've got the best days are ahead of us.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
I mean, we only did like 17 episodes, and well, I guess a couple of them rolled into 2019. But this is like our first official episode
of the new year.
Yeah, in the new studio.
Yeah, here we are.
Which is about as good looking as we are.
Well, there's only so much you can do with us.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of home improvement and home repair, we decided to go ahead and move into the new Homeowners Show studio, unfinished. But hey, we have a studio.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And if you're looking at Kevin, I mean, you can see that glorious wall insulation. And just behind my handsome chin is some sheetrock that has been textured.
Yeah.
So things are coming along. We're excited about the new space. It's going to look really great. And hopefully as new episodes roll out, you'll be able to see some improvements throughout the studio.
Yeah, it's going to be a little more comfortable for us as we get everything going for our guests to come in here. We've got our own space and
dedicated space.
Dedicated space is nice. It's going to be good.
A little more convenient for the guests.
Yeah, I think so. And no, you're right. I mean, this has been a big project that you've done. I haven't helped one bit.
Yeah, I think actually if you go back to episode 1, I think this is actually the story that I tell about like my nightmare project where like the floor is rotten and
that's the one.
So I toyed with the idea of calling this like Chicken Coop Studios. Because that's pretty much what this was.
Yeah.
It was a chicken coop.
Yeah.
That I converted.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a small apartment, but that didn't work out.
No.
But I like this better.
Yeah, it works out for us real well. And, we got the heating and air conditioning in here. And
that was top of the priority list, man.
Yeah, dude. We live in Houston, man.
Got to have some air flowing.
That's right. That's absolutely important.
Yeah. So this is obviously one of our New Year's resolutions that we're gonna be getting on top of and making sure that it looks snazzy for all of our guests and for all you people out there in the YouTube land and I guess we're gonna be posting some videos to Facebook as well.
Sure. From
the studio, we were also joined by the studio mascot. She's laying around here somewhere.
Yeah, Clara
the Aussie.
Yeah.
So we'll have to bring her on camera at some point.
One day.
So she's a little too pretty for this show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's going to dress it up quite a bit. For sure.
Man. So looking back on 2018, Kev, what were some of the highlights from the Homeowner Show for you?
Man, I think this probably goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think just launching the show was a big deal for us. I mean, it's something that is you were kind of thinking through something for a while now and getting my input on what it looks like and just, I remember back late August or so.
The good old days.
Yeah, we were talking and it was kind of like, let's do a show. Are we ready for that? And it's like,
nah,
probably not, but
here we go.
We got to start sometime, right?
Yeah.
And so we launched our first episode. And so for me, honestly, one of the highlights was just kind of getting this thing off the ground and knowing that it's going to take, people like you out there listening to us regularly to make this thing a success. And we want it to be something that's valuable to our listeners. We want it to be something that's helpful for you guys. We care about people ultimately. Deep down in our hearts, Craig and I are people that care about other people, and we want you to get the most out of your home and the investment that you've made. And so, that's why we ask for your input. If you've got a show that you're interested in, if you've got something going on with your house that you need help with, or that you want to share with someone else, an experience that you had, those things are valuable to other people. So we want to share experiences and get people on the show that are knowledgeable about how to help with those things. And so to me, just getting this thing off the ground was a highlight.
Yeah, and I know for me, I mean, just kind of piggybacking on what you're talking about there, I really try to lean into areas where I've had conversations with people that feel like they've been taken advantage of, or like they made like a big mistake in an area, and they had it to do over again, they would have done it differently, or they would have hired this guy, or they would have done business with that gal. And then I try and find those guys who I feel are, walking in integrity in their business and in their practices, bring them in here in the studio and have a conversation about the way they do business, and what should customers be looking out for when they're looking for someone like them?
Yeah.
And what's the kind of language that they should use? What's and that's always been the motivation for this show, is just to allow people to sort of naturally and organically get educated about, taking care of their home. In my work, a lot of times it's a constant barrage of people feeling like they've been taken advantage of. Yeah. People feeling like they didn't get what they were promised. People feeling like the project didn't go as planned. And a lot of that's just coming from a position of not knowing how those things go. They've never had a busted toilet before. They've never had a leak in their roof.
Right.
They've never had their driveway crack. Or just simple things like some of the products that they've never thought about, how that could be an advantage to them in their home, or, how that maybe they could use that in a different way. And I love bringing that perspective to the table, and that sort of bearing out in people's lives. Can they use that information? Is it valuable? And could they hand it off to someone else who's going through something similar?
Yeah. And I think there's kind of two sets of people. There are people that have purchased a home and kind of like, man, I can do this because I'm choosing to own a home, so they've done it. And there's others maybe that think, I don't know, man, I may not be ready to own a home. It's a whole lot easier to not have to maintain my own home, whether they're renting or living in an apartment, something like that. And I think one of the things that I'm interested in as we really move forward is helping people understand, man, you can do this.
Yeah.
And there's so many things out there. There's tools out there to help you understand what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And we want to be one of those tools. Mm-hmm. We want to be one of those tools where you can go, man, I got a leak. What do I do? Or, the next episode we're going to do here on the Homeowners Show is about roofs. I mean, how much do you really know about roofs, and what should you do with it? I mean, those are things that we don't expect you to know all the answers to. We don't even know all the answers to, but there are people out there that do. And when we bring those guys on, we hope that it allows you, the listener, to have some confidence in owning a home.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, when just talking about roofs, I mean, that's a tricky one, right? Because, I mean, it's something that you rarely, it's not like you go up and have dinner on the roof. Not normally.
Not tonight.
But I mean, like, it's something that's out of sight, out of mind a lot of times. And so, you don't think about the maintenance, and you don't think about, it's not common knowledge most of the time on just how to deal with that. And so, like, we want to introduce you to an expert that can talk about that and tell you the things to look out for.
Yeah, because it is an investment. I mean, your home should be an investment.
It's a crucial part of the home that protects the rest of the home.
That's right. And it's like anything else. You get out of things what you put into it.
Yeah.
And your home is no different. And, for most of us, we are either raising a family in a home, or we've raised a family in a home, and maybe there's, grandkids coming to their home. But, you want that to be a safe place. You want it to be an exciting place. You want it to be a place that other people want to be. And one day you may sell that home, and if you do, I hope that you feel a little bit of a loss in there, that you've invested something in it, not just in money, but some time, some energy. I remember the last home we sold. I remember walking into my daughter's room, going, "Man, this is a lot of stuff happened here."
Yeah.
A lot of time, a lot of love, a lot of energy, and a lot of investment in this room alone. And so, it's interesting to see the evolution of a home and the changes that it makes. And, man, that's exciting stuff to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any big goals for the show this year?
Well, yeah. One of the goals that I've got, and this is something that is really out of the control of you and me on some level, is...
Nothing's out of my control.
I wish that were true. I wish that were true. But one of my goals is, I hope we get to the point where we hit 100 listeners on an episode.
Yeah.
And I know that some people are like, oh, that shouldn't be too difficult. But man, there's some exposure issues. Trying to get some exposure, and some of that. If you're a listener out there and you enjoy listening to this show, we could really value your time to go on iTunes and give us a review, because those types of things can push us over a limit of getting more exposure. And so I guess one of my goals is to do that, and in order to do that, it's going to be a goal of ours of mine, and I think Craig's as well, to just continue to put out a quality product and hopefully get better and better each week.
Yeah, no, I hope it does continue to get better. And I feel like it's gotten a lot better at just kind of, in the 20 episodes, or I guess, what is this, 18?
This is 18.
Yeah, 18 episodes that we've had so far. Yeah, one of my big goals for the year is we've, and I really enjoy having people in studio. I actually think that's a better way to podcast.
Sure.
But we've come across some folks that really the only way we're going to have a conversation with them is, either on a phone or through a video line or something like that. So one of my big goals is to have several remote interviews this year. I really think that'd be a cool thing to add to our repertoire.
Sure.
On the show, is be able to talk to people across the country. I know we've looked into some folks in Washington D.C. In Florida. And we've apparently got a pretty strong listenership in Sweden now. I wouldn't mind chatting with one of those guys, seeing what home ownership is like across the pond.
Definitely
there. And so just expanding the people that we talk to on the show, just so we can get a broader view of home ownership.
Yeah, and I think that's something I want to definitely clarify is that my goal isn't just numbers, because at the end of the day, I don't really care so much about numbers. What I care about is helping people, and getting people, like you said, the exposure to some helpful tools, hopefully. And I'm glad for those that are listening today that are benefiting from our podcast. But I'd love to see that number grow and grow.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell our audience a little bit about this room here.
Yeah.
Because at least the plans for it is we're just gonna have a big kind of a conference room table here in the middle where we can bring in. I'm hoping to have at least space for about 6 guests at this table. Right there behind Kevin, we're gonna have a pretty shiplap wall, because that's trendy and everyone likes that. And you can probably tell that the lighting's a little bit different in here already. So we've already done a lot of the groundwork in order to kind of make this a really good space. We just got to put the finishing touches on it. We got to finish that wall and a ceiling and the floor, which sound like big projects, but it's not a tremendously huge space.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of things. It's finding the time to do it.
Yeah.
If you're not going to hire someone out, that's one of the big challenges is finding the time to do it.
Well, and I could hire someone to do it, but I think in my mind, in order to kind of keep some integrity in the show, I kind of wanted to struggle along,
sure,
and figure some of this stuff out as well. I've never done a shiplap wall. I think you just finished a shiplap wall, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I brought in Kevin to do my shiplap wall.
Yeah, my wife has been wanting a shiplap wall for a long time, even before Chip and Joanna Gaines really kind of made those things famous in some ways. She's just always loved that look. And,
it's a fantastic look.
It really is, and we found a place in our entryway, and I spent the holiday for a few days. Taking some time and nailing that stuff up.
Yeah.
And it's like anything. You get into a project like this room or that shiplap wall in my house, and there's always going to be something you run across. You're like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And you gotta, it takes some time to figure it out, to ask some people what their opinion is, and those sorts of things. But man, I tell you, the thing that I loved about finishing up that wall is just the satisfaction of people, looking at that and going, man, you did that? I'm like, yes, I did.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. And I know it's going to be the same way for the studio. And once we really get finished and, our guests they walk in here and they see this place and see, man, it's a nice space. And also for you, our listeners, we want to give you all a good experience as well. In order to do that, having a good studio is important.
It might be kind of fun a little later on down the road to actually bring Jared in and kind of talk about the genesis of this room, because you talk about projects sometimes where you think about how long it's going to take and just multiply that by 2, and this was just like the nightmare of all nightmares when it came to just redoing something, but like you said, I'm really happy now because kind of figured out how to do everything from the ground up. The only thing I didn't really have to do was the roof.
Right.
Everything else had to be redone in this room as we kind of worked through it and discovered, oh my gosh, that's rotten. Oh my gosh, that's falling apart. Oh my gosh, that's not done right. That needs to be redone. And it's like that kind of stuff just kept coming up in this room. It might be kind of fun to kind of, rehash that with Jared.
Yeah.
After we've had a couple of adult beverages in us. Just so we're not having PTSD over the room or something. But yeah, man, I've got some fun goals for the show too. I mean, I think if you go back to the Disney Circle episode, I'm gonna get that finger wagging Ursula. It's gonna happen. I've put a little research into it over the holidays. I think this is a reality.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I reached out to the CEO over there at Circle.
Okay.
And we've chatted.
Yeah.
And so wheels are turning.
Like in your head you chatted or actually chatted?
Yeah, we went back and forth on LinkedIn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got some momentum.
Yeah, I tell you another
got some
goal.
Social media game.
Hey, I'm glad. Another fun goal of mine, and you and I have talked about this off air. And so if anyone out there can help us with this, please help us with this. We want to get Nick Offerman on this show.
Absolutely.
I mean, legitimately want to get. I enjoy. We're talking about my shiplap wall. I thoroughly enjoy woodworking. It's something I love to do. Wish I had more time to do it. And Nick Offerman is an expert woodworker.
Yes.
And I know he's hilarious as well. But but the dude has some serious skill, and we'd love to have him on the show. So if you have any connections out there, man, write in. Help us make that a reality.
Considering that it is Nick Offerman, anybody helps us make that. I'll throw in a bottle of bourbon for that.
Okay.
One for them and one for Nick.
There you go. Hey, the pot just got sweeter.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll get the finger wagging Ursula.
Yeah.
And Nick Offerman, and it'll be fantastic.
Hey. Let's make it happen.
Can you go ahead and start like Twitter stalking him?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll work on it.
We need somebody. Could someone in the department of...
Who are you talking to?
We don't have a department.
No, we don't. There's nobody here.
It's Clara.
Yeah, Clara's not going to help us.
She's out.
She's asleep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's what she does best.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true.
So I'm trying to think of some other goals I might have for the show.
Well, I think one of the goals, another goal that I've got is just variety. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that we could talk about, and I'm sure there's got to be something out there that some of you guys out there listening are going, man, why hadn't they talked about blank?
Right.
And maybe it's either because we hadn't thought about it, or we hadn't found the right person to interview yet, or maybe the right person's just been busy. It's definitely a possibility. But those are things that I'm looking for, is variety. Make sure that we're offering things on our show that are interesting to you guys. We want to offer like the stuff like the roofing or plumbing or electrical or those sorts of things. But then also hopefully some things are a little off the beaten path, like beekeeping, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you've got something, let us know, and we want to offer the types of things that you want to listen to, because ultimately, if we're not offering things that you want to listen to, well, you're not going to listen to us. So
I want to get an electrician in here, man. That's like a huge gap in my knowledge base on home ownership. I mean, it's something I always, I can do some, but there's a lot of it I just don't know a lot about. So I'd be interested in talking to one of those guys for sure.
Yeah.
But what about your own home, man? You got any big goals for your home this year?
Well, one of the things...
Hackett Casa?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, one of the things that just fell off the radar a little bit at the end of last year, really for the half of the year, is kind of the landscaping of my yard. And not necessarily any redo, because my yard was decently landscaped whenever we purchased it. But it's a lot of landscape to keep up with. Sure. And so one of my goals is just to be out in the yard a little bit more and making it look good aesthetically from the outside, and that sort of thing. And we've done some things that we really want to do to the house. Yeah. But as far as just appearances go, we live on a golf course, and so a lot of people are driving by regularly, like over and over and over. And I don't want to be the house that they're like, that's that house. Yeah. They never mow their yard. I don't want to be that guy.
My ball always gets stuck in his lawn.
Exactly. I never can find my ball whenever I hit it into their yard. That's partly because I have my kids out there just stealing golf balls. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you've got a lot more land here than I do. Obviously, you've got multiple buildings on it, and obviously the studio is a big deal for you because this is on your property. But do you have anything else that you're kind of looking forward to?
I mean, there's stuff I need to do, and none of it, all of it, I'm looking forward to. I mean, one of the things I did when I first got this place is I went through and I cleared all the fence rows and redid a lot of the fencing, and I've been out surveying that, and a lot of it just needs some upkeep. Sure. And some of it needs some repair, just to keep it safe. And so I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. I enjoy that kind of work, but it just takes a long time. Yeah. To go up and down the fence rows. Yeah. I used to hate that when I was a kid too. I mean, I enjoy the work. It takes a long time to do it. Sure. And it's just something I have to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I could hire somebody, but it would be ridiculously expensive.
Not worth the money.
I mean, just because it does take so much time, and then it's just one of those finding the time to do it. So, but like you said, I've got to finish this up. But that, and this about there's always something. Yeah. Because we're gonna have to expand the house eventually for the kids. Yeah. And just get enough room for everybody. Sure. And that seems weird saying about my place because it has so much space already, but we just, we need a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure that out. I'm trying to think. I know one of the big projects that we'd always wanted to do is the ceiling in the upstairs.
Yeah.
Which, not ever having been in my house out there, listeners, I don't have an attic, and so like it's just roof to ceiling on the upstairs.
However
what?
Yeah. It's just acoustic tiles up there too. It's weird. It's like you have a drop ceiling
with no drop,
but it's not dropped.
Yeah.
So it's like you push the acoustics tile up half an inch and you're touching the roof with it.
Yeah, so, and I don't know. I mean, it was like that when we bought it, and I don't know the thought process behind it.
Surely it's some sort of insulation or something.
I mean, it does provide insulation, but I mean, like you can get. I would imagine wood would provide just as good an insulation as that. Maybe not, but like, who cares?
Yeah.
But like because it's a drop ceiling, I'm using my finger quotes.
Yeah.
This drop ceiling. You got to put in all of that framework.
Yeah.
And it's like and doing it up that tight and close, it had to be hard.
Sure.
Or maybe I just don't know anything about putting in drop ceilings. It could have been really easy. I don't know. But it just seems to me it would have been easier just to kind of like, let's put some beadboard up there, or let's something. I don't know.
Well, and maybe I think there's so many things about homes that are like that project. It's like you look at it and go, there's nothing wrong with that, and it obviously served a function, and that's the reason why they did it to begin with. But why? Or maybe that looked great in the moment, but here we are 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years later, and it's like, that really needs to be updated. And so, picking your project sometimes is a challenge. What do I do first sometimes? And it can be overwhelming on some level. But I think one of the important things whenever you own a home is just to, not necessarily say I got to tackle all these things at the same time, but make a list of things that you really want to do to your home, and figure out which ones are practical. Yeah. Figure out which ones are feasible, which ones are cost effective and are going to be worth it in the long run. And honestly, when we did this shiplap wall in our house, who knows? The next person that buys that house, they may hate shiplap, or they may walk in our front door and go, "Why did they do this?
Yeah.
This looks horrible." Which it doesn't look horrible. But maybe they don't like it, and so it's just not their taste, you know? And then the opposite also may be true. Someone walks in and says, man, I absolutely love this. So on some level, you have to find out what your taste is and make it something that you think is valuable for your home, for your own family. And, if your family's getting bigger and you need to expand your house, well, you got to expand your house, man.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
We'll do it. We got the property to put it on.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good year, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's some good stuff ahead. My wife and I have talked about several things we want to do for the house. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably document some of that and talk about it on the show.
Sure.
But yeah, man, if you have not yet hit the subscribe button there in iTunes.
What are you waiting on?
Stitcher.
Do it.
Now.
Yeah.
Do it.
Click it.
But yeah, also, if you get the chance, leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, review, or interview. We're game. And you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and pretty much, you can find us on the interwebs there. Yeah,
homeownershow.com. Look us up. That's where you can find a lot of our episodes as well. There's a lot of good podcasting apps out there. Go exploring if you don't like the iTunes or Google Play. Whatever you're downloading off Google Play.
A lot of people listen to ours on Podbean.
Yeah. I personally use Pocket Cast. I like that one quite a bit.
So, and for all of you out there, if you have not yet made it a practice to listen to some good podcasts, put some there in the old iPhone holster.
Yeah.
And get educated on some stuff, listen to some stuff you enjoy. I found a lot of people listening to true crime podcasts.
Yeah.
It seems to be like a growing trend right now.
I guess I need to look into that.
So the true crime is not subscribing to the Homeowners Show.
I see what you did there, Craig.
I did. I turned a phrase.
Yeah, that was slick. I didn't even see it coming.
Oh, man, out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, I also want to say this. Thank you to all of you who are out there watching and listening. We do value the fact that you're listening to us. It means a lot to us that you've already subscribed and that you're listening to us right now. So, tell your friends and know that every Tuesday we're going to put out a podcast, and hopefully that doesn't change. So far, we've been able to hit every Tuesday. So, just keep at it and see how things go.
Yeah, big thank you to everybody. It's been a great year. We're looking forward to a new one, and hope it's a good one for you.
Yeah. So I think that's about all we got for this episode, and we look forward to this year. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next Tuesday with our roofer, and we hope you join us. Until then, have a great week.
See you.